So KUSI said to CNN, we'd be happy to cooperate. CNN called back and said, no, we don't want you to. And the rumor was that Dan Plante's reporting was that a border wall worked. And then CNN didn't want that. But I don't know the truth, so that's why Dan Plante is joining us now from San Diego. Let's do the first things first. You are a border expert. You are there and cover it and have covered it for years, right?
Many years, many years, 20 years going on now, 19 years, my friend. That's right.
So you know that in the San Ysidro sector, which is San Diego, they've had a wall for a long time. Does the wall work?
We have, since 1997.
Does the wall work?
So does it work? The question is, does the wall work? Well, that is a question, by the way, that CNN was asking, and that was sort of the premise of their whole daily rundown, I guess. That was the day that Trump went to Texas and kind of a little surprise visit there at the border, talking about obviously promoting his wall and how the walls work. Well, CNN, of course, woke up in the morning and they had a different take on this. They wanted to talk about how the walls don't work and how this is all just a big waste of money. And the fact of the matter is, Bill, and I spoke with someone over at Fox News last week about this, and they cut this part out, and I want to share this with you. And that is the true facts of what the border wall does, and the border wall actually works. Here is a quick little anecdote for you. Talking about San Ysidro. There's a little town right on the other side of the border, on the San Ysidro border. It's called Imperial Beach. It's a great little beach town that gets dumped on by the Mexican sewage all the time, but that's a different story. A big story that you should probably look into sometime, because we've been dumped on for 40 years over there in Tijuana. That's another crisis at the border. But in this particular case, there's the area just on the other side of the fence when they put the fence up in 1997 that used to be the highest crime area in San Diego County, the car theft capital of the country at that time, because so many illegal immigrants were coming over and doing their thing, stealing cars and going to wherever they needed to go. So fast forward about 15 years, they put up this barrier. First of all, it started with the Duncan Hunter Wall, that corrugated steel that was left over from the Vietnam War. They put that wall up there at a very, very little expense. But that was the first barrier ever to separate Mexico from San Diego. And it was just this corrugated steel left over, but it was good enough as a symbol, and it was good enough to put a speed bump in their way. Well, a few years later, they realized that people were cutting through this and getting through anytime they wanted to. So they put up one of those fences that basically is bollards, right? So you can see through it, which the Border Patrol loves. They want to be able to see through it. So these guys on the other side, when they're starting to attack them, they want to be able to dodge the rocks. Well, guess what happened to that area that used to be the highest crime area in San Diego? It now has 1,000 cute little homes where people are living safely and happily. And there is a beautiful shopping mall there too, Bill. It is called Las Americas Shopping Mall. And it has dozens of stores, high-end stores, all kinds of stuff. Now, this stuff would not have been there, Bill, had that barrier not gone up back in 1997. That still would be the highest crime area in San Diego County. So if you want to talk about whether walls work or walls don't work, the fact of the matter is, if you put a wall up around your house, people are probably not going to get in. If you don't have a wall around your house, they can come knock on your door, sneak through your window. So that is a great anecdote. And that was an anecdote, one of my favorites, because it really just shows, an area that was the highest crime area in the country, basically, for a while, now has 1,000 cute little homes with 1,000 cute little families and a beautiful shopping mall where people go to all the time, not only from Mexico, but from America.
All right.
It is a great it's an outlet mall. So that's what's going on. So that's one example, Bill.
In the San Ysidro sector, the illegal immigration, and I don't know about drug smuggling, whether there's any stats there, was inhibited, I think that's a fair word, inhibited by the wall that was erected and remains today. Is that an accurate, fair statement?
It absolutely changed the numbers. My buddy Chris Harris over at the Border Patrol says that back before that particular wall, that fence was put up, they were catching between 1,000 and 1,500 people a night. And those were just the people they were catching. There was another 1,000 or so that would get through. After they put up that barrier, Bill, it went down to 100 a night. At one point in time, 30 or 40 a
Wow,
night. So you go from 1,000
right
to 100 to 30 or 40. So clearly,
I understand
at
it.
least in that sector, right? I mean, that doesn't mean that they can't go the 16 miles down to the end of the fence and start working it down there.
Yeah,
But
and
in
I
this
understand
particular
there was a pickup in seizures, and they were getting on boats and whatever. But I think that stat says it all. Now, CNN denies it didn't want you because of political reasons. It just said, "Oh, we decided to go and do something else." You buy that?
that yeah, do I buy it? Well, Bill, as an actual news reporter, I don't really want to step in that whole pile because
All
that's
right,
a
you don't
big
want to
old pile. But
speculate. Okay.
yeah, I don't want to speculate about that. But I
Right.
will say this: your buddy Steve Cohen, the greatest news director in America, who is sitting just a few feet away from me. By the way, he closed the door because I'm too loud. But amazingly, yeah. So I mean, what was the question again?
Did CNN, for
Oh,
political
okay.
reasons,
Yeah,
kill
yeah, yeah.
your appearance on that network?
Okay. Well, according to the conversation, you have to draw they didn't use the words, no, that's not the angle we want. But what they did was when we called up and said, we're going to offer up Dan Plante, who's been covering the wall for about 19, 20 years. And here's what he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you what the Border Patrol tells him. And that is in the areas where fences and walls are up, the amount of people, the amount of illegal immigration that's coming across the border has dropped dramatically. And they apparently did not want to hear that. And they said, well, you know what? Okay, never mind, we'll pass. And then what happened, Bill? About an hour later, CNN starts posting this video from little Jimmy Acosta, who looked like he had literally looked like it was his first visit to Disneyland, and he was
I
doing
know.
a
We
little
all
travel.
remember it. And he's looking through the wall. Where's the crisis?
Yeah, he's looking through the wall, and it's like
Right.
nothing to see here, you guys,
Right.
nothing to see here. Well, there's a lot of things there. First of all, the reason that there was nothing to see there was because there was a wall. And nobody
Right.
wants to come up to the wall. And the second reason nobody was there was because the president of the United States was there, and they cleared that area within many, many miles, just like they did every time Jeff Sessions came down
Right.
here, every time Homeland Security comes down here. When the president came down to San Diego, the area was cleared on both sides of the border.
Yeah,
so
Jim
this
somehow
whole
didn't report
it's amazing
this,
to me. You know what? You hit a nerve because it's amazing to me. I've been down on that border for many, many years, almost on a weekly basis, and I see exactly what's going on there. This guy flies in from wherever, New York or Atlanta, like the first time he's ever seen this wall in his entire life, and says there's nothing to see here.
I know.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Everybody's got it, though, Dan. Hey, look, we really appreciate you coming on. If you have a good border story or some development happens, I hope you let us know. You're a great guest, and it's very kind of you to help us out today.
Well, I appreciate it, Billo. The no spin zone, baby.
You bet it.
No spin
you bet,
zone.
Dan. Thanks again.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.